Hey guys,
All
welcome
right.
back. This is gonna be 5 Angry Men versus Fat Chunks Assemble live on your screens right now. I'm Hindu Man. Alongside me is the delightful New Yorker F Dot. Yeah,
That would be me. I'm going to take a look at Five Angry Men and Fat Chunks Assemble. Familiar names all across the board. We all know Five Angry Men. We talked a little bit about the Wolfie situation and why he's here instead of Payne DeVion. And on the other side of the game, we do see
DJ Penny.
A-Roar, Cyclone Spin, Soul Shiner, Sam Shrew, names that we are well aware of
We
in the
know
North
these
American
guys.
scene. This should be an exciting matchup.
Like I said, Barn Burner. Bart would be proud of me. He'd call this a barn burner himself. And right off the bat, we're going to see Aphrodite banned out and Osiris. And now, what's going to be the next one for 5 Angry Men to take away here? I mean, do you look at trying to go after someone like Soul Shiner or Sam Shrew, or do you look elsewhere?
I think you generally look for a good general pick over here. We should see some
That
a
ain't
new
general.
ban.
That ain't
Nua's-
general.
Nua's a good general ban. Nua is a good general ban. It's not necessarily aimed at anyone in particular. It's just protecting yourself from the cheese.
There will be no cheese today, ladies and gentlemen. There may be some wine, because once again, this is a tournament and there's always wine involved, but there will be no cheese to go along with it. But now we're on to the last ban for Fat Chunk Assemble.
And we're
Gonna
get
be
a Loki.
Loki. So Loki, bit scared of the solo lane Loki, I'm guessing that, or the jungle coming out if it's going to be Wolfie. I'm not so sure. I mean, Wolfie has played quite a bit of Loki in the jungle, but you can see once again Athena going to be the first pick and lock in instantly for 5 Angry Men, and she just provides so much now. People are so much realizing how strong she is after.
Yeah, Athena, just such a potent character, able to gank one lane and then show up in the next, no matter what. Rom going to be locked in along with Ao Kwang on the side of Fat Chunks Assemble. Good pickups. Not great like Athena. I think Athena is the shining star, and right now, Giannis and Apollo, 5am have made some fantastic choices thus far.
Yeah, I mean, 5AM's team composition right now looks very, very strong. They've got Apollo for the split push. They've got a lot of global presence with all three of those picks. Yanu's going to be able to transition a whole team over a map. Apollo can transition himself over a map, and Athena can also do the same. So when you look at that, you're like, this could be an issue. Guys, what do we do as Fat Chunks Assemble? Well, we're going to need some mobility. That's number one. And the wiggles there. Wiggle. Doo, 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 doo. So I had to do that at least once per stream. But we're going to see the Ao Kwang picked up there. He's got a bit of mobility in his kit, Freya. But they need to look possibly here at something else that's going to be able to rotate very fast. And with Freya picked up, it means they're not going to have a Mercury, which I thought they might have considered.
Very interesting. They're going ahead and they're trying to ban out Wolfie, essentially. Osiris, Loki, who he's been playing recently, Nemesis, another one of
take
these.
4.
Yeah, another one of these junglers that Wolfie likes. Freya and Thor on the same team begs the question: are we going to see a solo lane Freya?
We could. Could it be support Thor?
It could be.
I'm speculating. I'm speculating, but it could be a Thor support as well. Freya jungle and the tasty treats that NA have for us today. We'll find out as we're still waiting to see what 5 Angry Men are going to pick first, and they're hovering for Mana and Hun Bats in the jungle. Now Hun Bats, he's started to fall off a lot just lately after, and it's not often we see him.
Let me
especially from
attack
Wolfie.
that statement. Let me attack that statement. Hunbats is his picking percentage is beginning
has
to
fallen
fall
off. I
but
apologize.
the character himself is still powerful
Relevant.
as ever. We talk about this relevancy. Hunbats is just always relevant. As soon as Hunbats hits level 5, he has the ability to disrupt an entire team fight or get an immediate gank with the help of another person. So Hunbats is a powerful god. Usually we see him banned out completely before the past couple of weeks where we've seen a sort of shift in idea sets. But Hunbats picked here for Wolfie. Wolfie, since coming back to the jungle, has done a lot of practice with assassins. Traditionally, we associate Wolfie with playing thick, chunky bruisers. Taking a lot of flack for that, but he's practiced a lot of Loki and a lot of Hunbats. And in this matchup, don't be surprised to see Hunbats go off. Not necessarily Wolfie, because Fear No Evil is powerful in and of itself, but Wolfie should do very well with this situation.
Now, Fat Chunks Assemble, though, have picked up that Raw, which says to me that maybe I was right with my support call on Thor in this game. We'll probably see Freya in the jungle of this one. Should be an interesting one, this and after. So how does Thor really play out as a support?
Thor is an interesting support Putting it on Auror makes a lot more sense. Auror is famous as an interesting situation, but Auror is known for playing a lot of Fenrir support, a lot of Bakasura support, really aggressive non-standard supports. Thor is an interesting choice. I like it, and if he pulls it off correctly, Hinduman, it should be very potent.
I mean, the double tap going to be available, the wall as well, and when you've got someone like Rom, I'm guessing you can really go aggressive on that lane setup of Apollo, because if Apollo gets walled off from his escape route, then he's really going to be isolated. So we'll have to see how this one plays out for Fat Chunks Assemble. Obviously, they can kind of experiment here this week to an extent. Maybe they don't want to give anything else away to Five Angry Men going into, you know, the next couple of weeks. We're going to see them facing off against each other for the round robin to try and qualify. So we'll see this one. This is going to be Five Angry Men versus Fat Chunks Assemble. On paper, both these teams looking highly aggressive here. Lots of mobility, lots of crazy damage coming out from both teams. Guys, we'll be right back after this break once the game's loaded in.
All right, folks, welcome back. We're into our interesting rounds. Five Angry Men versus Fat Chunks Assemble. Five Angry Men representing their usual. Mace to the face in the middle lane, playing Giannis, character he's very, very comfortable with. Madman Mark and Pain de Beyond going to make up the left-hand long lane, which is the dual lane on Apollo and Athena. Rush going to be Vamana-ing in the solo lane, and Wolfie will be monkeying around in the jungle on that Hun Bats.
And on the other side of the map, we're going to see from Fat Chunks Assemble, starting from the top half of the map, right-hand side of your spectator UI, Aurora is actually going to be playing support for this game. Soulshiner in the jungle on Freya, Sam Shrew being the hunter role as Ram, Cyclone Spin as Raw in the solo lane, and El Guang, played by Hurrywind, in the middle lane. And right off the bat, you saw these two teams go quite towards each other and then immediately back away. And both place identical wards on the same side of the map, mirroring each other.
Just being careful. Good vision coming out from Fat Chunks Assemble. They know exactly where the dual lane is going to be starting. They know that they're starting at the blue, so they can safely go ahead and pick up their own blue and mid camps. But interesting stuff coming out right here. And while we get our game set up, late breaking news: late bloomers have taken out favorites non-pockety OP in the round of 8.
That's huge.
What that means, of course, means late bloomers are going to continue on in our tournament today. But it also means that late bloomers are now eligible to go on into our 2-week SPL play-in, while non-pockety
they
will
could go
try
pro.
Their luck in the Challenger Cup.
That means the late bloomers could still go pro. What a team name to have, though, going into that one, F. Call yourself the late bloomers. Beat a team like non-pockety OP, formerly known as Critosaurus, and then take that one away from them. So Critosaurus only going to be in the amateur scene now for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how they play out. But we're focusing on this game right now. 5 AM versus Fat Chunks. And Samshu already getting very low on that ROM in the duo lane.
Rom sitting very low. Level 2 does not have any pots outside of the pot he's already popped. So he's not going to have much there. Good. Berserker's Barrage coming out from Auror. Takes more poke than he dishes out. That's bad math right there. Good hammer hit. Madman Mark.
Right hand
just
side.
as low as Samshu.
Whoop gonna land and rushed in a bit of trouble. They're gonna get blinded for the most part, and Wolfie gets very low as well. As you can see, the blessing gonna be popped down now just to tick a little bit more and to sustain those minions even more. And already you can see Fat Chunks Assemble having a bit of an issue right now in this duo lane, but right hand side going in favor of Fat Chunks themselves.
Yeah, it took a little too much poke. Both from Mana and Hun Bats are going to go ahead and back. That's going to give Cyclone Spin an entire wave of minions on this tower. Don't forget, he does heal them as well. So it's going to be longer than the entire wave. Good heals coming out. And Cyclone Spin already bringing that tower down. Not too much. He's only level 3, folks. But 90% tower damage. Or 10% tower damage. Definitely pretty good.
So as we're looking at this one right now, we can see Aurora playing this Thor in this lane. Like, Pain Devion's an experienced support player, right, F. And if he knows when to time his taunt, when he goes for the spin to win, he's going to just reduce the amount of damage that Thor can really put on in this lane overall. So it's a very difficult ask for this Thor to support to really work out. However, you know, this is Fat Chunks Assembled. They're an experienced team. They know what they're doing. And like you said at the start of this, Aurora is an experienced player of unconventional supports.
Very true. It's sort of his tagline, if you will. Aurora really brought the Fenrir support into the scene. I don't want to say meta quite yet, but into the scene, so to speak. Both mids backing in sync. Interesting over there. And then we take a look at the solo lane. Cyclone Spin sitting just above half HP as well as Rushed. Should be rather static right there. And Wolfie going to take over, going to come over to the right-hand side. No, he's going to get some farm in the middle lane.
Well, mid-camp's going to come up on the left-hand side, just before the right-hand side, ever so slightly. But Wolfie in mid, as you say, going to get whooped, going to take a little bit of pulse damage. No, he's not, just going to jump away. As both the support and the jungler rotate over for Fat Chunks, we can see Athena finally rotating over here. Pain Divion getting ready for these mid-camps. They're about to spawn any second now. We should see in a fight.
We should definitely see a fight going down over these left-hand mid-camps. Good burst coming out from Fat Chunks to Assemble. Not enough for 5 Angry Men to really be deterred. Thor's in the air looking for somebody, but they've all split up. Who's he going to go on?
Right-hand side, the mid-camps have started, and that's where he's going to dunk down to try and secure these ones. And now he's in a good position to pull them through his team. Rush can really only watch as the team take this one down, gets whooped out for the trouble, and that's going to be all she wrote for the most part as Big Baby gets pulled onto the scene because he was dropping kind of low.
Good choice to use the ultimate. Better safe than sorry, all in all, but right here we're going to see a return to normalcy for the most part. Teams are going to go back to the lanes that they started in general. Mace to the face going to avoid that tornado nicely and going to go ahead and clear his own wave as well. But Thor looking for some aggression in the left-hand lane.
Well, taunt from Pain Divion, going to put some pressure on Samshu, but Samshu didn't roll away. He knew that Aurora was in the area. Throw was out the hammer, not going to be maxing that one by the looks of it. Looks like he's going for the spin to win max at the moment in the early stages of this game on Thor. But we saw the fight in the middle lane, you know, over the mid-camps there after, and we saw what Thor can bring to the table. He has the ability to escape dangerous situations he finds himself in, and then also jump to the sky for a reinitiation, and it kind of paid off for Fat Chunks having that Thor there, because they managed to split the camps evenly and didn't lose a kill when they were really in trouble.
All lanes generally playing it safe at the moment. Thor's here by himself, not really able to clear safely. He's going to have access to that hammer with Madman Marco and back to base. Should be fine. Going to tank this wave for his Hunter Samshrew. 6 and 6 in the dual lane for Fat Chunks. We take a look at 5 Angry Men's dual lane. We're going to have 6 and 6 as well. So good even matchup going on over here. Middle lane, similar.
Right
8
side.
and 7. Right side, get a lot of aggression.
Bit of aggression coming out. Athena's going to drop the ultimate, as does the Fear No Evil. Come out, but great through space and time as well from Mace to the face. They're really looking for Soul Shiner, who's used his ultimate already. The snipe comes out, only connects with one, but a great Tempest picks up some kills for Cyclone Spin with a Celestial Beam. And now Wolfie's in trouble too. Is he going to go down? He is. It's a 3-0 exchange on an aggressive attempt from 5 Angry Men. Fat Chunks come out on top.
Cyclone Spin still aggressing on the Pain Divion. That was a fantastic play. Good talk, gonna hit him with one shot of the tower. Does take the tornado, but that was a great play coming out from Fat Chunks Assemble, finding people where they needed to be. Good rotation coming out from the Janus, but not enough to really confirm anything, and actually winds up getting himself killed.
I mean, that was a 4v3 fight. That whole fight was 4v3. And 3 members of 5am died on that engagement. That was absolutely spectacular from Fat Chunks Assemble to be able to get themselves out of a very bad spot, considering the rotation coming out from Yarnus as well as Pain Divion coming in there with the Defender of Olympus to provide extra pressure. It was quite surprising how much they managed to get off. The snipe paid dividends. Big Spirit Tempest from Hurry Wind. But mid-camp's now being spotted and taken, but on the left-hand side by Fat Chunks, right-hand side due to spawn. And at the moment, Mace to the face could get caught out here. Quick Paul going to save his life though. But it looks like Fat Chunks Assemble trying to snowball this a little bit more by trying to take away these right-hand side mid-camps. But Wolfie is in the area.
Does have Fear No Evil available to him. Waiting. There it is. Fear No Evil. 3 members get feared out. Auror's going to go into the air. Good jump over the wall. Provide a little bit of spacing. Auror down onto Mace. Combined with Cyclone Spin. That's going to force Mace out of the fight completely. Freya's going to force him back. Great Eternal Dragon coming out. Rush dies to the Spirit Tempest.
Wow.
Soul Shiner
Gold Fury?
Get the kill. That's going to give Fat Chunks Assemble an opportunity to grab something. Right now, looking for the mid tower.
Looks like they are. You're going to see Soul Shiner going aggressive onto Pain Divion, trying to zone him out in the most part. Left-hand side, as we see them pushing down middle lane. Apollo, very low compared to Samshrew. A little bit lower than Samshrew overall, but Samshrew having a better time of it, so to speak, in this lane. And you expect to see that because Rom is very, very strong at the moment. I'm surprised they didn't get more effed up. They could have gone Gold Fury there and chose not to.
They just wanted to make this safe play, Hindu man. Getting that mid sour is a good choice. They didn't actually get it. They're going to send an entire wave of minions onto it after a little bit of poke, just playing safe. As we said coming into this matchup, 5 Angry Men is the favorite.
That's true.
And there's definitely a mental aspect as 5 a.m. as loses their first tower in the solo lane. There's definitely a mental aspect. Fat Chunk Simple is made up of people that have been in the pro spotlight before. Cyclone Spin, Soul Shiner. These are players that have been here before. Sam Shrew and Auror, powerful characters in their own right. But going up against the favorite definitely puts something in your mind. And that might be why they didn't go for the gamble of Gold Fury.
Maybe that was the case, but I know one thing from Fat Chunks: if they can continue to win this, snowball this game and win this one out, they'll feel confident going into the 2-week round robins, especially knowing that non-Tockety OP are now out of the tournament, formerly Critosaurus. They'll be looking at this with like, hey, we can take this over pro spot. It's on the table for us here. This is good for Fat Chunks Assemble. They're going to be feeling very happy with themselves. Even if this game doesn't go well, they're feeling confident that they can take this on. But space and time right inside. Channeled in. Wolfie coming in, looking for Cyclone Spin. But the mobility is so much from Cyclone Spin, as well as the sprint on top of the passive. Going to just deny the engagement and waste an ultimate there through space and time.
So very fast is rough. Fat Chunks Assemble not gonna let this go. The ults
snipe.
Combine. Hurrywind gets the final kill onto Rush. That's gonna go ahead and be his 3rd death of the game. Rushed leading the charge with deaths. 3-0 on the side of 5 Angry Men for Rushed right now. And Fat Chunks Assemble is just looking like a well-oiled machine. They've got their combos down. Great taunt. Nothing to follow up as 5 Angry Men. And Fat Chunks Assemble have 4 members in the middle lane.
But it looks like they're trying to rotate for the Gold Fury here as a whole unit. You can see Rama already in the area starting off this Gold Fury. Pain Divion and Wolfie hanging around. Gonna see the noodle that is Hurrywind rotating around, so they know something is up. They can clearly tell the Gold Fury's been started, but Tornado gets hit onto Wolfie, and Gold Fury's already down before Pain Divion can even get in range to try and contest. Mid-camp's also going to go in favor of Fat Chunks Assemble, so they're continuing to apply pressure absolutely everywhere.
And here you can see the confidence building, Hindu man. Earlier in the game, they didn't go for that Gold Fury. Either they weren't confident in their ability to provide the damage enough to go ahead and take it, or they just weren't sure where 5 Angry Men were. This time around, they go ahead, they get a single kill and open the door to grab Gold Fury right off the bat. Confidence is growing right now, and as long as they stick with it and then don't get too excited, this 4,600 gold lead should go much higher.
Well, Rushed in trouble again, has to use the big baby from Fear No Evil. Was actually popped there by Wolfie, defensively used in case the aggression continued. They'd already chosen to go back though for the most part, but 6-0, Gold Fury down, Fat Chunks in full control. Still no towers down other than the one on the right hand side from 5am's point of view. So they've got to continue to try and get themselves back in this one. Their mobility across the map, they're trying to use it after, but they're not finding anything when they do.
Yeah, 5 Angry Men has the superior comp. Couple of global ultimates. You have Mace to the Face, Madman, Mark, Pain Divion, all of which can travel and traverse the entire map all by themselves at a moment's notice, essentially. But Fat Chunks Assemble just able to pull off their team's combos so well. Out goes the Whoop, and down comes everything else, and basically eliminates a single person. And that is really neutering 5 Angry Men's ability to respond in team fights.
I mean, we'll have to see as this game goes on. I guess by the looks of 5am, they're going to have to rely on Madman Mark and the scaling of Janus into this late game. If they can continue to just hold on now and not lose too many towers, they can look to Madman Mark, who is the highest level on his team. He's not been focusing in this game right now. Is 000, 5.7k gold, highest on his team right now. But if you look at his lane opponent in Sam Shrew, Sam Shrew's also in the same boat, but slightly ahead, and that's all down to the Gold Fury. And Sam Shrew's actually winning this trade against Madman Mark, forcing him back there in this lane, but right inside an engagement once again.
Fat Chunks going very deep. Soul Shiner forced into the air. Might be punished off this as he is very low. They have dived into this tier 2 tower right here, folks. 5 Angry Men have 4 people in this lane defending against it, while the Hunter one-on-one goes on across the map. Fat Chunks Assemble looking for something in the jungle, but there's nothing to be had.
I mean, the good news is for Fat Chunks Assemble, I don't feel Thor's been very influential in the team play overall, F-Dot, throughout this game. But luckily for them, with this Thor and how the game's gone for them, Thor is actually ahead in terms of gold. And considering he didn't start Watcher's Gift, that's pretty impressive to say the least. To be ahead as that big Spirit Tempest in mid. But Aegis out from Janus was fantastic. And now Aurora's going to tank up the tower for the most part. They're getting pulled in under it. They can't find a kill once again. 5am have to retreat back. And overall, Fat Chunks Assemble come on top of that little engagement there as they drop down that tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
Definitely understanding where the damage is coming from, and a great counter build coming out from Mace to the face right there. Knows that he has to go ahead and buy the Aegis, because what Fat Chunks Assemble essentially is doing is globaling people. They're getting people in a precarious situation and combining their ultimates and other abilities to just eliminate them. Mace to the face recognizes that. Hits Aegis, goes ahead. There's the initiation though. Aurora down, looking for a fight.
They did snipe him and obviously hit him with the whoop, and Thor dunked down as well. But Pain Devion, the tankiest person on the team, more than likely, in that Athena, survives for now, but she's very, very low. And you can see Fat Chunks Assemble looking for a little bit more as 5am trying to clear out this right-hand side jungle, knowing that Fat Chunks are in the area, defensive wards position. Soulshine are going to get a double whoop there and force the reset of the buff just to delay it, but not going to continue on for now, as it's still 6-0, gold lead just over 5,000 to Fat Chunks, and experience just over 8k.
All the people for 5 Angry Men trying to find farm wherever they can, whether that be in the lane, safely on their own tower, or in their own jungle, all of which is being threatened by Fat Chunks Assemble, who have been on the aggression since minute 1. 14 minutes in, we have 6 kills for the way of Fat Chunks, 0 on the way of 5 Angry Men, despite the fact that they are the favorites coming in with the debatable better team comp.
Yeah, I mean, debatably, it was a better team composition on paper. They've got more mobility. They've got a lot of late-game damage as well. But then you look at the other side of things, Fat Chunks have just used their ultimate combination so much more effectively. The 5am have really struggled to really find any sort of synergy in terms of their skills. I mean, the synergy's been there. They've attempted it, but they've not been able to confirm anything. Now, Wolfie and the rest of 5am starting to float around the Gold Fury, knowing it's up sooner rather than later. Fat Chunks are already well aware themselves, so we'll probably see a contest over this next Gold Fury, and I feel, F-Dot, that this Gold Fury is going to be influential in terms of how the rest of this game is going to play out. If Fat Chunks take this one for free or pick up a few kills, then maybe Fat Chunks will just snowball the rest of the game out from there. But if 5am could get a couple of kills, then maybe we'll see a game out of this one.
I definitely agree with this. The teams are separated by about 5,000 gold, just over 5,300 to be specific. And a Gold Fury on the way of 5 Angry Men could shorten that lead enough to where the team can really compete in lane. Whereas if Fat Chunks Assemble go ahead and grab at Hindu Man, they are definitely off to the races. They can do a lot, like taking that 5,000 gold lead and putting it into more the 7,000 gold region. So this is where we're going to see the fight start. I think they want to clear things out and make sure that it's safe before they absolutely go for it, because Fat Chunks Assemble definitely understands what we just placated.
Well, a ward just got down by 5am by Janus, and you can see Fat Chunks Assemble clearly not aware of it or don't care enough about it to be able to go and deal with it. So they're going to continue to start the Gold Fury, and the zoning coming out from Fat Chunks Assemble. They don't feel strong enough space and time, very late to the party here overall. Gold Fury resets as Big Boy goes online, and Cyclone Spin's in a bit of trouble here, trying to juke away for the most part. Big snipe coming out, but Wolfie does find Cyclone Spin, but here's a Spinning Tempest. It's not going to really find anyone, but Soulshine, it takes out Pain Devion, and you can see Ram in the skies trying to do some damage, and Samshu's in a bit of trouble here, as is Wolfie, but Soulshine are going to find a double. And overall, 5am lose 2 members for the one of Cyclone Spin, and with their health bars very, very low and their ultimates all down, F-Dot, they're going to have to give up this Gold Fury.
This Gold Fury is definitely going to go ahead to Fat Chunks Assemble. Not much 5am can do. Madman Mark is here to provide some poke. He might be able to get a kill after this. And actually, they're going to go ahead with their all-in. This could definitely change the situation. Soulshine up
Gold
in the
Fury.
5am steal the Gold Fury along with 2 kills. One being credited to Madman Mark, the other is Soulshiner. Soulshiner and Rush.
Ooh, that was close.
Gets the kill. That's going to be 4 kills on the way of Fat Chunks Assemble. 5 Angry Men are back in this game, folks. 2,800 is the lead for Fat Chunks. But that's a great play for 5am, and they've got to be feeling good about that.
Look at the dip in the graphs there. You saw the lead Fat Chunks have, and it's been cut. And now you can see the pressure from 5am now being turned on. They're trying to push onto this middle tower. Knowing there's a few members dead, Rom's going to have to rotate round. Cyclone Spin here. 5am have to be careful, though, because if they get caught out of position here, Madman Mark could get in trouble. Is he going to go for the roller? He's not for the time being in Samshrew. Just going to defend this middle one tower. They're not going to get any more of it. Big camps are up, though. Can 5am take these 2 and continue this?
5M, go ahead, grab the left ones. The right ones have spawn. Cyclone Spin going to pick those up for free. Making sure to use ult to absolutely put the emphasis on the fact that they need those camps. The lead is steadily shrinking, though, folks. 5 Angry Men are back in this to win it. I don't think they necessarily have the late game comp, Hindu Man, but if they can get their stuff together, they definitely can put up a good fight against Fat Chunks Assemble.
I mean, late game comps, let's look at them on paper. You've got Raw and you've got Freya, first of all. Let's look at Freya. Freya and Rom on the same team. Those two are going to be very, very strong in the late game. On the other side, though, Hun Bats, I mean, he's going to have the ability to two-shot you if you get yourself caught out of position, especially with Fear No Evil in team fights. And then with that, you've also got to have Giannis. Now, Giannis is scaling as the game goes on. It did take a nerf, but it's still very strong F-Dot, so bits and pieces of both, I'm guessing, but the sustain definitely in favor of Fat Chunks Assemble as well, obviously, with that Cyclone Spin playing Raw. So yeah, maybe you are right with, the late game probably being in favor of Fat Chunks, but they'll give as good as they get, that's for sure. And that Gold Fury is going to make this game pretty much, well, a little bit more even, rather.
Rush being caught out by Fat Chunks gets a good stun out from Aroy. He's gonna get hit by the Ra ult as well, immediately into the sleeping giant form just to regen and walk away. That's a win for Fat Chunks as the Vamana ult is now down. Vamana really needs that ult to be super effective during a team fight, and with that down, Fat Chunks could engage and really benefit from the lack of an ultimate coming out from Rushed.
But I'm guessing it's just based off where they can find a fight F-Dot, because right now the lanes are all pushed out. You're going to see the tier towers down of tier 1s only on the left-hand side. There's a possibility of fight on the on the left-hand side right now. You can see Athena engage onto Ram. Ram just going to juke out, but now Aurora is here once again on that Thor. And we have a little look at him now. He's level 15, Payton Devion level 11. Big difference between those two in terms of supports right now, and good to see from Thor that he's actually going for a sort of standard support build there on this assassin, picking up the sovereignty and the Midas boost to make sure he's getting gold generation and providing those tanky stats for the rest of his team.
Yeah, that level disparity between Pain and Aurora is definitely going to be a large factor in these team fights. Pain does have the superior peel, as we talked about before, but Aurora at level 15, even though he's building defensively, should be able to put out decent amount of damage, even especially considering what his passive is. Thor does more damage when he's surrounded by people. So in a team fight, obviously with more damage, you do more damage, but in a team fight built defensively, you still have damage output when you're playing Thor. So that's the mindset coming out from Aurora at the very least. This should build into a shifter shield, if I'm not mistaken, while he's going with this round shield. And then we should start to see a lot more chunking coming out from Aurora himself.
Shiner hunting on the left-hand side for an opportunity here. So is Hurrywind alongside him, and Aurora all floating around this Gold Fury area. Double tap going to connect. A little bit of damage onto Wolfie, but most part 5M do not want to fight this, and the mid camp's going to go over now. Two Fat Chunks assemble on the left. Right ones are up, and you can see Rush rotating around here. Got to be careful because he's got no real backup at the moment. Cyclone Spin, well aware, going to split that 1-for-1, I feel, because that snipe did connect. One thing I want to say, though, is as this game goes on, I think they need to look to Rushed as well on this Vamana. You can see he's gone for early magic resistance, has the Unseal, has the Bulwark of Hope. If he goes for something like Stone of Gaia as well, it's going to be very, very tough for Fat Chunks Assemble to bring him down with this 3-mage composition that they've got going for them.
It definitely should be a big presence coming out, as you just said, and we're going to see if they can really pull it off or if it's just going to flounder. Previously, we saw 5 Angry Men really get rid of Fat Chunks Assemble's commanding lead, but now it's going back in Fat Chunks' direction. 3,500 at the 21-minute mark. Experience also, by the way, of about 7,000 just underneath, and 5 Angry Men really have to claw their way back into this game if they want to win.
I mean, experience is the big factor here. The gold difference, I know it's 3,000, but the experience is the big factor. The amount of damage you're going to get from the scaling of those levels, of those ultimates, of those normal abilities are going to cause a big issue. So 5am looking to stall out here realistically, try and catch up and gain some ground, because Rushed level 17, Cyclone Spin level 19, his lane opponent 2-level lead there. Mace of the Face is equal with Hurrywin, which is good for them. Soulshiner level 15 in the jungle to Wolfie's level 15, and the Hunters are both equal as well, but it's generally the solo laner and the support that are currently behind, and that's the frontline tanks of 5am. That's why they need to stall.
Very well said. That basically is why they need to stall, and Fat Chunks Assemble in this middle lane just have a fantastic wave clear. with that hurry wind tornado. Definitely hurrying up right there, and it looks like Fat Chunks wants to take a look at the Gold Fury. And with no wards, 5 Angry Men really have to sniff this out themselves, and it looks like they have.
Well, here we go. Pain Divion going to go straight in there. Is he going to find it? He's not. Gold Fury goes over to Fat Chunk's face and time goes off. He's not going to find anything, no. And you can see Pain Divion getting very low. Aura to the sky. He's going to look for a re-engage as Fear No Evil connects and Samshu in trouble. But he himself goes up and that's going to cause an issue for Rush, who's going to get hit by that tornado. But that magic resistance paying off for now. But for how long is it going to pay off? The Astral Barrage not going to find Pain Divion too. It's not the third connecting there on the backside. But for the time being, 5 AM only lost Wolfie there, and they gave up the Gold Fury again. But if they can keep holding these towers, then there's still hope, but Fat Chunk's still commanding this lead.
Wolfie not having a good game at all. 1-3-0 at the moment. Keeps dying in the engagements, and Fat Chunk's looking for the stuff after the stuff. Going to go ahead and grab the tower. This is a good choice right here. We'll see if they press on to the tier 2. But 5 Angry Men is here to respond in spades.
Well, a lot of ultimates we use. Cyclone Spins is back online. If they get a good snipe, they're going to have the healing coming out from him as well. So they've got the regeneration, and the poke damage from the tornadoes could be a big issue too. But Fat Chunk's going to back off, not going to bite off too much more than they can chew. And considering the fat chunks that they're eating, they're doing okay about that.
Definitely doing rather good. 5 members for their team are still here in the left-hand jungle. 2 members in the left-hand lane, though, going to get caught out. Good knock-up from Rush, putting a lot of damage onto this Ao Kwang, followed up by Samshu. Here's the rest of Fat Chunks, though.
Apollo's
good
up.
taunt, no rotation.
Apollo's down. Madman finds a kill on the backside and Hurry Wind, and there's space and time going to connect. Fear No Evil, Soul Shiner drops 2. This is going well for 5 AM here after.
A-Roar gonna get chunked down. Madman Mark gets credit for that one. Samshu underneath tower. Pain wants to progress. They're just gonna go for the tower. Great response from 5 Angry Men.
Yeah, really good call from them. If they can get this tower, it's going to pay off as well. Wolfie tanking it up as Storm for the most part here. Needs to watch his HP bar, but going to take a tower down after that engagement. And not a bad little comeback there. I mean, for the deficit that they're at right now, F-Dot, that was a pretty good fight for them. They chased them down well. The initiation went well for them overall. Space and time connected, Soul Shiner dropped, and Madman Mark made a big impact as well, coming on the backside and taking out Hurrywind, who did have that Tempest Serpent available.
Exactly, Hindu Man. And right here, 5 Angry Men, it's important for them if they want to get this victory. It's very important for 5 Angry Men to keep it up and keep doing what they're doing. Up until now, it's been 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and this Fire Giant could be very good or very bad.
Well, we'll see, because Samshu is here as his Cyclone Spin. They could go for a snap. Athena's going to use the ultimate, increase the protection. 5 AM get it! They get the assistance, really, from Fat Chunks, but Fat Chunks get a double kill out of Cyclone Spin there. He's going to continue the chase, but 3 members escape with the Fire Giant, and that's going to allow 5 AM to stall a little bit longer after. That worked out like a good play, especially if they can defend this tier 2 tower.
Losing 2 is all right for the Fire Giant. If Fat Chunks go ahead and take this middle tower, which they're about to do, that immediately looks like a more suspect play. Fat Chunks is going to progress onto this Phoenix with 2 members down, Wolfie and Pain down for such a long amount of time. This is a good call, despite the fact that they have Fire Giant in defending. Rush putting out a lot of damage in that ultimate. Madman Mark face back. Fat Chunks Assemble have destroyed the middle enemy Phoenix 25 minutes into this game, despite the fact that the defense had the Fire Giant. Hindu Man, Fat Chunks just got the victory in that engagement.
They really did. I mean, the Fire Giant, we said, F-Dot, when they did it, this was risky. When they picked up 2 kills, Fat Chunks were like, okay, still in favor of 5 AM, definitely works out for them. But the great decision-making from Fat Chunks to use that 2-man advantage they had to push down middle and get that Phoenix is just going to continue to snowball the game technically in their favor. Can 5 AM answer back, though, again, with 3 members still, having this Fire Giant? They did a good defense, and I'm looking at Madman Mark now, because he's 3-0-2. He's not died in this game, and he's going to be the lifeline for his team right now.
Yeah, he hasn't died at all, which means that Heartseeker is fully stacked up. Samshu going to go ahead and take out Mace in the face. Good kill right there from Samshu. But right here, 5 Angry Men, this has been the motif for the game. It's just 1 step forward, 2 step back for 5 Angry Men thus far. They keep making good plays, and Fat Chunks Assemble come through and respond in spades. They went and they got the Fire Giant, but they got killed, and they got their middle lane wiped out as well. 5 Angry Men just need to bring it together if they want to win this match.
And I like this coming out of Fat Chunks Assemble now. Even though the enemy team's got a fire giant, they're going to continue the push. Knowing the middle Phoenix is down, they're going to try and assault this tier 2 tower, force a fight and delay. Raw going to the sky with Thor. Where's he going to look to dunk down? He's going to zone them out as Pain Devion gets hit. Tanking up the tower for his team, going to retreat to the heals. And that worked out well for Fat Chunks there. F. Dot taking a tier 2 against a fire giant team.
Again, just good decision making coming out from Fat Chunks, understanding the objectives and where and when they need to go ahead and grab them. Cyclone Spin on the way back, picks up left-hand mid-camps. That's going to provide a little more boost. And right now at the 27.5-minute mark, Hindu Man, 7,100 gold separate these two teams, as well as 8,700 experience. And the kills, 12-7.
I mean, we said the longer this game goes on, the experience won't matter as much, as everyone will slowly start hitting level 20. You can see still a small lead in terms of level 20 for Fat Chunks Assemble. Golf Fury been started, though. I think we're to see this. Fat Chunks, get it! Oh my god, a Raw stole it! He got in there with a hammer, picks it up. Hurricane takes out a kill. Mason Tower on the backside for Mason in the face. Looking to clean up, not going to find anything, though. Now he's going to run away. Tornado is hitting him as he pops the Aegis. The wall's going to be enough to make sure he doesn't get away. And Samshrew snipes Wolfie on the backside. That was big for Fat Chunks. They could go on to win this right here.
They definitely can, Hindu Man. Fantastic play coming out. 4 members of 5 Angry Men going to be down for 30+ seconds. Pain Devion will be up in 15. Fat Chunks is storming down the middle lane with a wave of fire minions. Madman Mark is going to go ahead and ult. He's going to try and do the most he can with a good knockup. But folks, the Titan is fallen. Wow. 5 Angry Men fall to the wayside. Fat Chunks Assemble come out on top 28 minutes into the game. They'll be going on to the finals.
I'll be honest, F. Dot. I'll be brutally honest here. Like, I had predictions in my head. I don't say who I expect anymore because generally I curse people, so I've stopped doing that. But my expectations were non-Takadi OP and 5 Angry Men to be the ones to watch for the playoff spots. I expected those two more than likely to go to the land, and these tournaments to not be as exciting as they actually are, because Fat Chunks Assemble just beat 5 Angry Men. This week, non-Takadi OP, formerly known as Critosaurus, got knocked out by the late bloomers, and are not even going to get through to the round robin stages of this. And now, I'm at a loss. This is blown my mind.
We have 2 incredible upsets right here, folks. Before in the game, we saw the late bloomers seeded 10th. Take out non-pockety OP, previously known as Critosaurus, seeded 2nd. And right here, 5 a.m. is the number 1 seed overall right here for our SPL play-ins. Fat Chunks is seeded number 5. Both semifinal matchups were an overthrow, were an underdog victory. Both teams go on to the finals. Excitement right here at our SPL play-ins.
I'm surprised. Guys, we'll be right back with the final. It'll be Fat Chunks Assemble versus either the winner of Late Bloomers, the surprise team into the semi-finals, or Team Torch, as we'll go on. F. Dot, call it now. We don't know the result. We're still waiting on it. Who do you reckon's going to win that? Late Bloomers or Torch? Ooh.
We'll have to see. I am not going to call anything. I don't know how the game is going right now. And frankly, both of those teams are a powder keg of emotion and talent. So we're going to see who's going to face off against Fat Chunks in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned for more Smite action. For my co-caster Hindu Man, my name is F. Dot, and we'll be back.